Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of CSB, ladies and gentlemen. And today we have someone who's an expert at a very unique sport. So please welcome Suvarnika. Suvarnika, if you could give us a bit of an intro to yourself and your sport, it would be amazing.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. My name is Swarnika. I do a sport which is known as roller speed skating. It's similar to ice skating, but instead we do it on wheels, on a track and a road surface. Currently, the sport has come to Asian Games. It's not yet in the Olympics yet, but we're hoping, like, at least it's not going to be in Paris, but hopefully in the upcoming Olympic areas, it's going to be there. Yeah. So I've been doing the sport for around 9 years now. I started out doing the sport in Chennai, which was happening in my apartment. And then after I shifted also, I just continued it because I was always passionate for the sport and I don't see myself quitting anytime soon.
So, what was your inspiration to decide to skate? I mean, you said that it was from like you started skating in your apartment. Was there anything before that that made you feel that, okay, you know what, I love this sport and I'm gonna for sure pursue this in the future?
Um, there was nothing like a spark like that, but when I started out in my apartment, like I was just really thrilled of the speed at first itself. And also like it's such a unique sport and it's not yet developed. That's one thing that like made me want to go for it again as well. At the start, I used to also swim very frequently. I used to do swimming and skating. But as years went and I shifted to Pune and Bangalore, like the training for skating got to a higher place because I was turning into a pro athlete in skating and swimming. It takes longer to turn into a pro athlete. So I had to at one point drop swimming and only continue with skating so that I could attend all training sessions and, be at the place where I'm supposed to be. The only reason that I still continue it, I think, is because now that I've done it for so long, I want to achieve it in a higher level as well. And yeah.
You said that you have to squeeze in time for your training sessions. Can you walk us through how your training schedule is in terms of, is there cardio? Is there hitting the gym? Are you practicing rollerblading? Don't know the exact terms, but still.
It's fine. The thing is, so normal sessions, how it happens is that we skate every day morning. At least this is what I do. I skate every day morning, and then on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday evenings is the only time I hit the gym. But in the gym also, I go to a place where they do strength and conditioning because I intend to injure myself a lot very frequently. So the other times it's all whatever the coach makes me in skating. So I play both long distance and short distance. So he makes like a program which it's suitable for me because many athletes can't do both of the distances. So yeah.
So, you said you've been doing skating for quite a bit of time. So, how far have you come in skating? Do you plan to go even further? I mean, obviously you do, but how far do you plan to go?
So my like highest milestone till now is that I've gone for a world championship which took place in Colombia last year. My main aim like right now is Asian Games because for this year I was in Asian Games team, but due to COVID, it got postponed to next year. So we're gonna have trials for it again. That's gonna take place in like this December. So my aim is to first of all get in the team and then probably get a medal for the country as well.
Right.
And right, are you state skater? Are you a national skater? What's the term that you've been given?
I've been like given as a national champion because you only call yourself an international champion when you earn a medal in internationals. But yeah, so the national champion.
So being national, you're a national champion. So for that, you won like, can you like tell us a bit of the awards? What are they?
Yeah, so I've been going for nationals ever since I think 2018 or 2019. So I've gone to Chennai nationals which took place in Chennai, Vizag nationals, Mohali nationals, Delhi nationals. my like biggest streak in winning for nationals was last year, which took place in Delhi. So out of 6 events, I came first in all the events. And so the longest event that I played was 42 kilometers, and the shortest event I played was 100 meters. So I was like an all-rounder in that whole competition. So this year again for nationals, I'm hoping that I get the same streak and I can keep the streak on going.
All right. So, so there are obviously some hurdles you have to tackle for skating. What are some challenges that you faced, uh, both in your progress and your journey to come where you are today?
The thing is that, as I mentioned, that I tend to injure myself a lot. So this is because I keep on training a lot and I don't give my body a rest. So that's one thing that I need to start improving in. And also studying. Like school just gives me a hard time to control with skating too, because I have morning and evening training, and so I need to like stay up late, and then at the end it just affects my skating training in the morning. So it's little hard, but I just have to go through it. Because as many people like Saturday Sundays they get free time, but I train more harder on Saturday Sunday because the whole day I don't have school. So yeah. The biggest
Yeah,
problem
no,
is just time management.
Okay.
I think I can vouch for how hard you work because um, it's been so hard to find time to record a
Yeah.
podcast. And I think we've been planning this for like a couple of weeks now. And I think that's the thing. I think Moksh and I have spoken about this before. That's the one problem with interviewing an athlete is that they're never free. They're always training. They're always at the gym. They have a tournament. They're getting some award. They're God knows what. And I think it's really nice to see that you made some free time today to talk to
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Really fit us in our schedule.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so recently I heard that you got sponsored. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
bit more about that?
So I got sponsored when I was in the team for Asian Games. So I'm sponsored by a skating brand itself. They supply apparels and skating equipment to us. The thing is, for skating, the sport is an expensive sport. So after a point, when start achieving little milestones and the whole country kind of knows you, they tend to motivate you by giving you sponsorship. Like that's how it goes in our sport. So yeah, not many people earn this sponsorship. Only people like who the person who's dealing the brand, because it's a proper Indian brand. Like the brand's called as Simmons Rana Racing. So the owner itself is like an Indian. So it's like easier, and he's also kept it like all over the world. Like many people use it. So it helps you connect with other countries too. It's just a big
Right?
motivator in your whole journey.
I know. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Thank
Round of
you.
applause. Yeah, guys, if any company wants to sponsor our channel, please feel
Yeah.
free. Even even
Apple,
if you give us
yeah, we're
a
coming for
dollar,
you.
we'll shout your channel, your company out. Um, obviously you've been skating for 9 years now. What's something that you've learned from those 9 years that you apply in your real life too?
That after a point when you keep on doing the something, it's the same thing again and again, it's gonna get boring, but you've just got to do it because you need it. Like I just feel like whatever I do, like whatever I am right now is because of my sport basically, because I learned so much through it. Like whether it's collaboration, whether it's like thinking, strategizing, it's all through my sport because I'm hardly at school.
Right. Um, and obviously, as you said, you've won national awards, you've won state awards, you're pretty sure you won local awards too. What's your key to winning, or what's your key to keeping the winning streak?
I think it's just training and like no training at a level where you know that you're going to perform well. It's not just like, beating your personal best, beating the timing which everyone's doing, but you're in your fittest and you're a better version than you are from your past self. That's all I think about. Because like when I train, there's sometimes where I like don't want to do this sport ever again because of the way I'm performing. So I just think just be satisfied with what you are and don't like keep, thinking that, oh no, I'm not getting this, oh no, I'm not getting, just trust the process and go on with it.
That's very true.
You said that there are some moments where you don't want to do the sport ever again. So how do you come back from those moments where you're like, okay, you know what, I've had a bad race. I have no clue what to do. And like, what's your plan to like come back to your form and like cross the hurdle?
So it's most of the time I just talk to my coach or my parents. But also like nowadays when I don't like perform to my fullest, it's just motivating me more. Because like my mindset had a shift to it. So I'm like, oh no, I didn't do well this time. Probably I'll get it last time. I just need to, work smarter and harder for it.
Hmm. So you said, as Jeev said earlier, you've won a lot of awards. What would you say? I mean, there's no right or wrong to this, but what would you say is the key to winning?
I think
Um,
it's just wait, please
Mox,
say
I've asked this question. I just asked this question.
Oh shit.
All right. We move. It's fine. It's fine. It's a, common mistake that happens. Um, okay. So Vanika, obviously, the skating industry as a whole sounds like a very niche sort of thing right now, right? It's not like it's not at the point where it can contest with bigger sports like football, cricket. So what do you think is something that the skating industry will have to do to reach maybe the level of football or cricket?
See, currently, I see that the federation itself is trying to put in a lot of work. So now, what the new plan is that they keep conducting camps so that all of our athletes are fit and they know how it's going to be so that we can be the international level. But I think one main thing that the federation needs to work on is to, start to make us compete more and make us go to play the international tournaments more and not just represent the country but also just to train outside of India, because currently India is not anywhere compared top 10 at least with them. Like last year is we've only got like one world championship medal till now. So it needs,
Right.
there's a long way to go, but I think they need tiny changes which would help us grow.
Right. And right now, which country is at the top?
So currently, Colombia is at the top, Colombia and France.
Colombia, France. And are any of your idols from any of those teams?
Yeah, both of them, like all of my idols are from Colombia and France.
Can you tell us a bit more about them?
Yeah, so my long distance idol, who is a male, is his name is Martin Pelly. He represents the country France. He's really good at long distance because no matter what happens, I've seen him that he never panics during a race and he's able to like keep his mojo in his complete long distance race, whether it's 10K, 5K, 1K, he's always just chill about it. And I know him more than just a winner because I went to France in 2019 and I trained with him. So I just know him more like a friend, kind of.
Wow.
And what about your second idol?
So my second idol is a sprinter. His name is Lucio Marcelli. He's not a Colombian, but I'll just talk about him because I want to talk about a long distance skater and a short distance skater. So he only does short distance. And the thing is, currently he used to win, but then now there's like someone else who's beating him. But every time I see him, the upcoming race, he's always doing better than his past. Like his timings, his mindset, his attitude, it's only getting better. So that's why.
Again, coming back to the sport itself, you said I think the longest you did was 42 kilometers.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that sounds very absurd to me because 42 kilometers is well a lot. It's
Yeah.
almost going to load to Nandi Hills or something. So so it's on the road itself, right?
Yeah.
Or is
So
it track
42
you do?
kilometers. No, so the longest, so they're like around 9 events or so. The longest is 42 and the shortest is 100 kilometers. The 42-kilometer is a marathon. It's for open category. So there's no age groups in it. It's only about 12 female and about 12 male. So even the seniors compete with you. The thing is that not many people prefer to do the 42-kilometer because, of course, many short distance people can't survive. But
Right.
in India, actually, the marathon is really easy because no one like starts off from the first. But when this is one disadvantage because when I went to the internationals, because everyone just started sprinting from the first, and I couldn't survive. At least in the main pack, I couldn't survive. The thing is that so because they have 9 events, it goes like long distance, short distance in a day. And for me, it's like hard because I do short distance and long distance. So I'll have like 2 to 3 events in a day itself. But the only reason why I do long distance and short distance is because I think it helps. Because when you're doing long distance and if someone sprints, you need to have the capability to, like sprint with them. So that's why I just prefer long and short.
Also, is there any difference in them training people for long distance and short distance?
Yeah, there is because long distance is just based on endurance and your cardiovascular, whereas sprint is just that you move your legs fast and you just need to have capacity to go to heat, semis, and finals. Whereas long distance is like a one shot race where you do 40 kilometers in one shot.
Yeah.
Um, Roughly, how long is a 42-kilometer race?
The record is I think around 55 to 56 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yes.
was just recently. Yeah, it's
And
around 52 an hour.
The car in
right, so
Bangalore, you take 4 hours.
Exactly.
with the traffic, yeah.
Yeah.
With
I mean, so while you're doing a 42-kilometer race, what's like, is there something that you keep telling yourself, or is there a sentence that you have that just keeps on pushing you to the max?
the thing is, I've only done marathons like well in India. So and I don't much need to tell myself because the pace is really slow compared to the internationals. But once when I went to the internationals, I was just dead. Like one lap, I was dead. Because it happened in like a complete one side was downhill and the other side was completely uphill, like completely. It was like Nandi Hills, the road. It was literally like that. You won't believe I literally go to Nandi Hills to train for uphill training and like endurance. We've skated the Nandi Hills.
Up
Wait,
and
yeah,
down.
that's why going
Not
up and
down. Not
yeah,
down. You'll
down
die
is
if
like
you go
full on.
down. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I mean, I still find it really hard to believe like there's a 42-kilometer
Yeah,
race.
there is.
And I don't know how I should phrase this question exactly. But so as you said, you're training for something that's uphill, right? Is there Has there been a instance, obviously, because like since it's uphill and you're like moving your legs, where you've gotten really scared because you're like going back down and you're not able to go back on top?
See, that's the thing, right? You won't go back down. Like, I know it
I
makes
mean,
you
like you
picture
won't
stuff
like just
like that.
fall off, but I'm saying like,
Yeah. Yeah. It does happen. It's happened to me. Like, I've been so dead that I've rolled backwards once. But the thing is, that's what. So once that you've rolled backwards once, you know that you won't be dumb enough to not stop your legs. Like, you'll make sure that you keep on going upwards.
right. And for a 42-kilometer race, how do you hydrate yourself throughout?
So during the race, we're allowed to have, if we want electrolytes or something, but that's that you're on skates. You can't like stop or anything. You can stop, but it depends. Not for a long time. Until and unless you don't have an invalid reason, you can't.
I mean, if you stop, you're basically increasing your time, right? It's not
Exactly.
something.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you can also catch the pack.
so is there like, so when you hydrate yourself, is there like someone like waiting for you, like you tell your mom or your dad or your trainer to say like, okay, you know what, at 20 kilometers, you wait there on the side of the road, keep the bottle ready, I'll just grab it and I'll drink it? Or because I've seen in cyclists, if I'm not wrong, where they have like a bag
Mm.
and there's like a pipe
Yeah.
that goes. Is that what you do?
No, so what we do is that we have someone who's giving out water to us from the federation itself. But if we choose, we can also like I prefer to have electrolytes during marathon race. So my dad always keeps a bottle with him. And whenever I feel like it, that is like for sure after 20K, I sip in some. So my dad normally gives me that. But if it's like I always carry it in disposable plastic water bottles. So whenever I want, I sip and then I put it at the back of my skin suit so that whenever I want, I can. And once it's over, I just keep like I can just throw it, so I don't need to carry the weight on my shoulder. So,
Huh.
Mm.
So coming back to the whole rolling back part, which I found funny and scary at the same time, is there any incident or is there any funny moment that you've had while skating?
while skating, the only funny thing is that I fall like real bad, like for unnecessary reasons. I'll just fall. Like if
Right.
you see like falling videos of skaters, it's really funny the way they fall, by what they do and they fall. But
Huh.
otherwise, in skating, I just think some people it's not fun. It's not there's nothing funny like that. Like when you
Huh.
do parachute training, there is because it's parachute, right? And if you do it on uphill, you're of course gonna go back down.
You've been
Yeah, of
watching
course.
too many
That's
cartoons lately, I feel.
I know.
Ah,
Even
no.
I feel like it.
Um, okay, another question. So in the next 5 to 10 years, where do you see yourself in the sport? Or where do you see the sport too?
My For myself, I feel I hopefully I've achieved some international milestones, and I'm at a point where I'm satisfied with myself, but not like I want to quit the sport. I still want to do more, but with my current self, I'm satisfied. And the sport, I for sure see it growing and probably in the Olympics. Because the problem with speed skating is that because it's not in the Olympics, many people who've become pro athletes and have countered milestones in the international, they shift to ice skating. So you don't see many seniors in skating anymore because they're like, you're not going to get anything out of it. So they all shift to ice.
Do you
Because skating, yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
no, I don't
Okay,
know what I was saying. So
okay.
just
So do you see yourself going into ice skating?
I do. I actually plan on as well because the thing is, in skating, the federation itself doesn't give us money for federation considered competition. Like recently, when I gave to national games, because it was a government organized tournament, is when I started like I've got a letter that I'm gonna earn this much money, or like if you've got these much medals, then you'll get money. But I haven't yet received it like on my hand yet, so we don't know because the sport is just growing. Like it's like many kids do it, but it's not yet become a professional sport yet.
Right. Coming back to why you said that you get injured a lot, what's the biggest or worst injury that you've gotten?
So in 2019, I got an SI bone inflammation injury. I had to be off skates for 6 months. That was like really bad for me. But when I got back, I is when I realized I did rehab and everything. I did rehab in Bangalore actually. And then the only thing was that which like supported me and helped me grow was because of the people who I had in my circle. Like they would just always motivate me. And that 6 months made me feel like even though I wasn't skating, it just made me feel like I'm improving on myself. Yeah. And then now recently I have a ankle bone inflammation thing. That's because I it's a stress reaction because I was overtraining. So now I have to be off skates for at least 2 weeks.
I
That's
mean,
why you guys got to do the podcast, by the way.
yeah, oh,
Don't know whether to be thankful for that.
yeah, exactly. Bittersweet moment for us here. We thought, okay, you want to like cleared some time and we feel very valued that you uh, spent some time out of your hectic schedule. Um, I think we have time, I think, for another 2, 3 questions. So let's try and keep it very brief. What are your side hobbies other than skating?
Other than skating, as of now, I don't do anything. Like I just study and I skate, but I really like to. I used to really like to paint. I used to like to, go out for walks and like just chill around. I used to love to swim like during hobbies itself. But nowadays I don't do as much because I just don't have time.
Yeah. So, how do you balance your work-life balance? I mean, because like you're skating, you're studying, how do you make time for events like this or like family event?
Uh,
Tell us.
most I just say I sacrifice a lot of things. Like so when I wake up really early, and then from skating I go directly to school, and then from school I go directly to skating, and then I come back home at around 9 to 10. So after that is when I study. Like I'll spend some family time, have dinner with them, and then when my parents all are asleep is when I study, and then I sleep around 12 or something, and then I sleep when I wake up. But sometimes I just don't study if I'm like really tired. Like during competition season, I don't like stress myself to study because my competition and my school things don't know.
Right. So what time do you get up? Because you said you sleep at around 12-ish
Yeah.
and you're training for how many hours a day? Like what, like give us like a detailed example of a hectic day of yours during
Uh,
competition season.
so during competition season, which is at least like 2 to 3 weeks before, where you're supposed to peak, my day goes up like if it's a far around place for me to train, I wake up at around 4:50 to 3:50 to 4:10 ish. I wake up because I need to be at the facility by 5 to 6. And in Bangalore, everything's far for me, so I need to like wake up early, and then I'll go to train because sometimes if the training gets over, I come home and then I go to school because anyways I need to come through the my home route to go to school. Um, then from school, if it's evening gym, directly I go to gym. If it's skating, then I come home and then I go to skate because the skating session only happens at 7 to 8. So yeah. And then 8 o'clock, yeah. So when the time when I'm back home after 7 to 8 session is 10:15. So I spent like till 10:45, 11 with my family. 1 hour of studying is all I do every day. That's all.
I think that's more than enough. And I think Moksha and me complained for getting up at like 6 or 7, and I think
Oh God.
we're not taking our lives for granted at this
Hey, I
point.
never complained. Okay, you were the one who
Yeah, okay, hello. You're not the one who comes into school and you're like, bro, I'm so sleepy. Okay, anyways, that's not the point. Two follow-up questions. What do you have any particular diet that you follow?
So I've joined in a nutritionist base, which is called as Potential Health Development. So I just don't like to force myself to eat, and I'm a very picky eater. So I needed that because sometimes, like, there's some things that I need to put in my body because so much I train, I need to like make sure that I don't have a calorie deficit, and I also have multiple vitamin deficiency, so that I'm like, good to walk, good to not like faint off anywhere. So I need that.
Yeah, and for my last question, how is your like gym session planned out? Obviously, you said it's strength and conditioning. Do you have like separate days for like say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? So Monday is basically push, Tuesdays pull, and Wednesday and Friday is legs. Do you have any workout split
Yeah.
like that?
So three things that I work on is power, strength, and conditioning. So one day I'll do power, one day I'll do strength, and my conditioning is mostly a cardio conditioning, so that there's like active recovery happening, and I'm not just chilling around. And those conditioning days are mostly my rehab days. So if I'm anywhere like near to getting injured, then the trainer like helps me, and the physios just mobilize my body.
All right. I think that's all the time we have for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, follow us on Insta, follow Savarnik on Insta. We'll go listen to us on Spotify. We'll link everything down
make your
below.
plant watch it.
Yeah, guys, please make your plant watching. We need
Yeah,
views.
I am making my bottle watch this. He's getting a preview.
Two bottles. All right.
All right. And if we don't see you again, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.